The energy that you have in this room right now, I need you to hold on to that energy. All right? You guys are going to change the world. And the way you change the world is with energy. The way you change the world is with passion. All right, so 3 things. Let me get started. So I'm going to tell my story, and please don't laugh at me. I just got to be honest with you guys. So for those of you who've read any of my books, you've listened to any of my videos, you know there was a time in my life where I was a high school dropout. All right? Now, let me be honest with you guys. I was the kid that when my mom dropped me off in school, like kindergarten, I'll never forget, mom dropped me off, and I would cry, I don't want to go to school. Right? And my mom was like, look, by the end of this day, you're going to play with your friends, meet new people, you're going to meet the teacher, you're going to get your own little space, you're going to love school. Right? And my mom dropped me off, picked me up that afternoon, and I said, I don't want to go to school. And my mom said, okay, by the end of this week, you're going to meet friends, you're going to have fun with your teacher, you're going to do great things in the classroom, you're going to love school. And by the end of the week, I went, Guess what, guys? Elementary school, didn't get it. Middle school, couldn't stand it. High school, couldn't stand it. And eventually I dropped out of high school. Now, I know you're seniors. Believe it or not, I dropped out the beginning of my senior year, right? Didn't drop out freshman, didn't drop out sophomore, didn't drop out my junior year. I waited till my senior year to drop out because at that time I was homeless. I wasn't living at home. Now, I need you to do me a huge favor. I know there may only be a couple of you in this room, but if you're like E.T., and there was a time in my life that I couldn't stand school, if you're like me and like, I don't even get it, I don't even understand school, I just need you to raise your hand. It just might be 1 or 2 of you. Okay, all right. I thought I was the only one that got dropped off and didn't like it. All right, so watch this, guys. So somebody asked me the other day, they said, E.T., if you were a high school dropout, what made you go and get your GED, get your 4-year degree, get your master's degree, and get your PhD? If you hate school that much. Watch this, guys. Now, you're going to laugh when I tell you this, but I still hate school. Right? I still hate school, right? So you said, E.T., if you hate school so much, why did you get a GED? Why did you get your 4-year degree? Why did you get your master's degree? Why in the world would you go and get a PhD? Listen to me very, very closely. The first thing I want to say to you, as a leader, as a champion, as someone who is going to dominate not only in your industry, but okay, so I said dominate. So if you think you're going to dominate in your industry, dominate in this world, and be one of the best at what you do, when I say dominate, I need you to make some noise because I'm talking about you. All right? So for those of you in this room, you're going to graduate and you're going to go to college and dominate. You're going to go in your industry and dominate. You're going to go in your field and dominate. Please make some noise. All right, come on now. I'm talking to leaders in this room. I'm talking to a group of individuals that are going to change the world. Now, this is what happened, guys. I realized 3 things. The first thing I realized is that as a leader, sometimes you have to do what you don't want to do so you can live like you want to live. All right? Now, how many of you in this room, you have dreams and you have goals? I need you to raise your hand. You have dreams and you have goals. That's right. I like it. I'm going to say it again. I want that same response. How many of you have dreams? How many of you guys have goals? How many of you guys want to be successful? Absolutely. I told you, I need energy because it is energy. Listen to me. It is energy that turns this dark room into light. It is energy that has those televisions on. It is energy that allows those cameras to work. It is energy that allows that computer to work. You will never be successful in life if you don't have energy. So wherever you go, the classroom, energy. Wherever you go, energy. Why? You're taking a test. Energy. Why? Because it is energy that lights the world. So I need you to always give me beast mode. On 3, beast mode. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Beast mode. So what I realized, guys, is sometimes you have to do what you don't like to do so you can live like you want to live. And this is what I realized, that as long as I was a high school dropout, as long as I didn't have my 4-year degree, as long as I didn't have my master's degree, and because I work for a major university, as long as I don't have my PhD, there will be certain limits. Now, how many of you guys like limits? Raise your hand. You like when people tell you what to do, when to do it. They tell you can't do this, you can't do that. If you love people placing limits on you, please make some noise. Absolutely, right? So if you're anything like me, guys, I was tired of people telling me how much money I could make. I was tired of people telling me what I could and couldn't do. I was tired of people placing limits on me. So sometimes in life, you have to do what you don't want to do at a young age so you can live like you want to at a later age. I also am working on my 3rd book. I realized when I got my degrees and became an author that people begin to see me differently and people begin to treat me differently. So the first thing I want you guys to do for me is I don't want you to go through life on your feelings. I want you to go through life on principles. What do I mean by that? Every time you get angry, you can't act out. Every time you get angry, you can't slam a door. Every time you get angry, you can't go off on a teacher. Every time you get angry, you can't curse a person out. Every time you get angry, you can't fight. Listen to me. Every time you get angry, you can't act out. You have to understand that sometimes you have to do what you don't want to do so you can live like you want to live. And so there are certain sacrifices, guys, you're going to have to make if you're going to get to the next level. So if you're in this room and you know what your dreams are, you know what your goals are, you know what you want to accomplish in life, but you are willing to say, Eric, if I have to sacrifice television sometimes, if I have to sacrifice my cell phone sometimes, if I have to sacrifice hanging out with my friends sometimes to make my dreams become a reality, I am willing to make the sacrifice because there is nothing as important as my goals and my dreams and being a beast in my industry, being a beast in my field. If you agree with me on 3, I need you to say sacrifice to make my dreams a reality. Again on 3, sacrifice to make my dreams a reality. 1, 2, 3, sacrifice to make my dreams a reality. 1, 2, 3, sacrifice to make my dreams a reality. Listen to me, that's number 1. Listen to me, that's number 1. So I had to make some sacrifices. Now let me explain to you what I mean. My biological father wasn't in my life. My biological father didn't get his high school diploma. His father, my grandfather, didn't get his high school diploma. And unfortunately, I dropped out and I didn't get mine. But when my son, July 20th, 1995, 11:38 p.m., when my son was born, I made up in my mind that I was not going to be a high school dropout because I wanted my son not to be a high school dropout. So I went back to college and I fought hard to get my degree. Why? Because I wanted to break that cycle. So listen to me. I don't care if you're like me and you weren't born on a certain side of the tracks. You don't feel like you have the money. You don't feel like you've had the support. You don't feel like you're the smartest person in the world. Listen to me very closely. I went from GED to PhD because I made some sacrifices and I gave up certain friends and I gave up TV and I gave up cell phones and I gave up certain fun and I gave up the movies and I gave up certain things to walk in my dream. And let me tell you, I just left Australia. I'm on my way to Malaysia. And I don't say this often because I don't want people to take it the wrong way. But when I go to Malaysia for an hour presentation, I'll make $100,000. I'm here to tell you it was worth giving up TV. It was worth giving up the internet. It was worth giving up sports. It was worth giving up friends. It was worth making the sacrifice to stand before you today. And I'm telling you, you can have, you can be, and you can do whatever you want to do, but you cannot do it if you're not willing to make the sacrifice. And for those of you who are willing to make the sacrifice, on 3 say, I'm willing to make the sacrifice. 1, 2, 3. I'm willing to make the sacrifice. Come on. 1, 2, 3. I am willing to make the